Hello everyone, welcome back to Man United Fans Voice. This is 𝗦𝗢𝗖𝗜𝗔. I have said in the past that I do not like to do my match reaction videos straight after the games because I do not want my reactions and my thoughts to be affected by my feelings. And that in a way is a promise towards anyone who chooses to watch my videos and who enjoys seeing and listening to what I have to say. And because I always like to keep my promises despite how I'm feeling, I will try to once again, although I know most of you can understand how I'm feeling after Friday night, I will try to once again give you a balanced and measured reaction on what was one more of the many disappointments from this season. Many talks and many rumours about who will be Manchester United's next manager. Whether it will be Pochettino or Ten Hag or even Rangnick, my worry will be exactly the same. We have a squad filled with big names, but not enough big personalities. Massive wages, but little output. Enormous egos from players that have barely won anything. Every team is allowed to have a bad day. However, these players have continuously underperformed when they were expected to turn up. They have consistently failed the mentality test. Almost every time they've been put under pressure, they have crumbled. Of course, it is not possible for me to know how you feel, but from your messages and your comments, I understand we feel the same. I am not angry anymore. I'm not even angry. I am just tired of being let down and disappointed. All we want is some consistency. All we want is an indication from these players that they do feel the responsibility. For most parts of that game, the performance was good, but the result is unacceptable. Manchester United were knocked out of the FA Cup by a championship team at Old Trafford. The players should feel ashamed. And when I say players, I do not mean 𝗦𝗘𝗵𝗔𝗟. That game should not go to penalties. In a way, I feel sorry for him because he was put in that spot only because the senior players were not able to finish off a game that Manchester United should be winning easily. In this game, Manchester United had 30 shots and 7 big chances created. You would think that that would be enough to win against a championship side and go into the next round of the competition. 7 big chances created, including a Cristiano Ronaldo penalty. I think that that is a clear indication of the positive and at the same time negative changes we've seen since Ralf Rangnick took over. Manchester United have seemed more tidy and good in the defence, but not as ruthless and sharp in the attack. In the Ralf Rangnick era, we haven't seen many defensive mistakes, but at the same time, Manchester United have managed to score more than 1 goal in only 3 of the 11 games we've played with Ralf Rangnick as the manager. In this game, creating chances was definitely not the problem. United had 22 shots from inside the box. Unfortunately, execution was the problem. It really is a shame the game ended up like it did because, especially in the first half, United played some genuine good football. We controlled the game, we created a lot of chances. We looked comfortable on the ball and confident in the defence. I was excited watching United in this game. And I have to say that despite the bad result, I am confident that if we manage to keep our level of performances like that for the rest of the season, then we should be okay. If we manage to keep our performances like it was against Middlesbrough, then results will follow. I have said it many times before that performances can be a very good indication for what will follow. If we continue to play like we did in this game, results will get better. Maybe on another day I would feel more angry and frustrated about the decision to not disallow their goal for a handball. But United should score more than one goals against a team like that at home. Right decision or not, I simply cannot blame the ref for United not being able to win against a championship team at Old Trafford. The handball was not the reason Manchester United got knocked out from the FA Cup. Finishing is a vital skill in football. Creating chances but not scoring has nothing to do with bad luck or bad refereeing. But I cannot help to think that this rule that says that if the player passes the ball, it is not a handball, but under the same circumstances, if exactly the same things happen, but the player scores, then it is a handball. I cannot help to think that that is completely ridiculous. And to think that people were paid to sit down and discuss this, and that is the most sensible decision they could come up with, it is just funny. I repeat and I emphasize, Manchester United did not lose this game because of this rule, because of this decision, but it is completely idiotic. In my opinion, one of the biggest positives from this game was Jadon Sancho's performance. He was very good both on and off the ball, kept things simple when we had possession and worked very hard when we didn't. If some of the other players had done a better job with their chances, Jadon would probably finish the game with 4 or 5 assists. I think this was a very positive performance from him. And I also want to say that I have been very impressed with 𝗦𝗢𝗏𝗡𝗏𝗡's change in mentality. I think we have seen in him huge improvements under Ralf Rangnick in terms of his willingness to pass and progress the ball forward. We all know his technical limitations, and one of the biggest negatives about Scott was that he played too many sideways passes, that he didn't take the risks we want him to take. But I think that we have seen recently that he is trying to do that a lot more. He drops into the right spaces, he makes himself available, and he tries to be more progressive, and personally I do like that very much. It is extremely frustrating to exit the FA Cup in that manner, especially when it was our best chance for a trophy this season. But now, unless we produce a miracle in the Champions League, this is going to be our 5th season in a row without a trophy. So now the main focus has to be finishing in the top 4, because I seriously worry that if we don't, then the task of a small or bigger rebuild under a new manager will be even harder. Finishing was dreadful, but for most parts of that game, the team looked sharp and we created multiple chances. Had we won, then most United fans, including me, would be massively encouraged by that performance. But unfortunately, things in football are usually very simple. If you don't take your chances, that's what happens. I don't remember the last time, and I do not think there has been a time when I have felt less connected with Manchester United than I currently am. I only speak about myself, but I think that most of the United fan base kind of feels the same. As football fans, it is so much more than just results. We want to feel a connection with the club and the players, and at the moment, that connection feels very, very thin. But maybe, if the defensive improvements continue, and the likes of Ronaldo, Fernandes and Rashford start showing more clinical finishing, then maybe a miracle can happen and this season will not feel like a complete disaster. But if that doesn't happen, then let's get this season over and done with as fast as possible, because it has been completely awful. In the cold snow of Munich, they laid down their lives, but they live on forever in our hearts and our minds. So come all supporters and hold your heads high, for Manchester United will never die. The flowers of Manchester, never forgotten. Glory, glory, Man United.